Hi and welcome back. Today I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a garden tour. So first off, I'm going to show you my cottager garden. I have a few tomatoes in here and some really nice flowers and some herbs and stuff. I just cut my catmint and the horehound, and I have some flowers, my lettuces. Most of them are going to seed, which I'm going to save the seeds off of them so I can plant some this fall. I'm going to plant a lot. And our partially finished project over here for our porch. The plan is we're going to frame it in, and we're going to take these boards out and just bring it to the ground and put gravel in. And there'll be a glass door that comes down in here. This whole side here is just going to be windows, and I'm going to be using it for a little sunroom to start my seeds. It'll be easier to keep this warm because it's right next to the house than to keep the greenhouse warm. And who knows, maybe some point down the road we can use both and we can heat our greenhouse. This year I've planted, I think, about 5 new rose bushes. This is one of them. It's Earth Angel. This one's probably going to be my favorite rose, next to the Morden Sunrise over there. This one is a an old English type rose, so it's got the nice big full rose with lots of petals. Very romantic looking, I guess is what it said. And I bought a couple of hydrangeas. Over here we've got, and it's starting to bloom, which it looks so nice over there. It's the Limelight. That thing is gonna get really big, and it's gonna probably disguise my birdhouse. And my mother-in-law gave me this beautiful pink phlox, which hasn't started blooming yet. There's another rose bush that I have over there, which is Vavoom. That rose on there is kind of a little faded right now, but when it first comes out, it is this extremely vibrant orange, which I thought would look great with all these purples and that clematis that's covered up kind of right now. I did a video on how I put a trellis for it, but with what we're doing with the porch, I had to take all of that down, and I think we're just going to go ahead and next year just put the that white lattice stuff up for it to grow on. I think it'll look a little better than cattle panel or pig panel or whatever it's called. Panel. Hog panel. Thank you, Rachel. And I got me some new, there's the other, Sally Holmes is the other rose bush that I got. And I got this, it's fire hydrant, I do believe, heuchera. But I put the cages on there because the dogs kept just tearing them up. I even tried putting rose bush clippings in there, which I don't know if that really helped at all. I think what helped the most was getting the collars for the dogs, and they only get a perimeter of about to here in the backyard. So they're not allowed in the front yard anymore. So they can't destroy my flowers. And there's some other heucheras down there, but they, like you could see, the dogs digging holes, and they trampled all the hostas that I planted this year too. I can't even remember the names of them. Those ones are still alive by a miracle. And I have a that's a Firelight hydrangea over here that I planted this year, and I planted this Champagne clematis. It's a group 2, so it's not going to get quite as big. So I'm going to put a little trellis here for it to grow on this post here. And yeah, I think it'll look really nice. My sister gave me some money to buy this. You can't see it now because it's, you know, it's done with its glory and everything. But this spring, this mock orange just looks so great. So pretty here, and it smelled good. It's gonna get big and kind of fill in this little section here. It'll look really nice next to the lilac there. This is another rose bush that I got, and I have completely weeded this stuff out, and it just comes right back. I think I'm just gonna have to come in a little heavier on the mulch and just lay it super thick. I have here the Plum Perfect. So it's a nice purple rose. I planted that this year as well. And I had a couple of rose bushes over there, but since we're gonna be redoing this pathway, hopefully soon, I don't know when, but hopefully soon, we're gonna just rip all this out, level it all out, and put all the extra dirt up here and make a really tall mound and put rocks in there to kind of keep the dirt in. And then I'll put flower beds on top here, and there'll be a little walkway out. This is what I would like. I don't know if Jared's on board with me or not yet, but where the picnic table is, I'd like to have a little patio out here to put the picnic table on, and even possibly have a little gazebo or some kind of little structure there, but I don't know if I have him on board with me on that or not. I think he wants to do something in the backyard, which I'm not opposed to doing it in the backyard and maybe having both. Having one up here and in the back, but we'll see. And I planted a couple of hollyhocks in here. And this Zebrina, I think is the name of that one hollyhock, which is technically not a hollyhock according to Baker Creek. I'm not sure what kind of plant it is. It really looks like this mallow that's growing everywhere, but it's not. It actually has really pretty flowers. And that was the other rose bush that I moved. And eventually, these rose bushes will be big enough that I won't have to have little cages on them. The dogs and kids and everybody else, they just kind of mow them down by walking all over them. So until they're big enough and strong enough to be able to protect themselves, you need to have a cage around them. It's not the most attractive, but it's the only way I'm going to preserve my plants from being murdered. I planted some blueberries here. I planted some Russian sage. This plant here is a spirea, and it looked a lot worse than this when I brought it home, so it's kind of looking a little better. It was given to me from my church. It was looking really bad over there, so I figured I could just bring it out here and let it have one last chance. I don't know if it's actually going to do anything. It looks like the flowers kind of died off on it. I don't know. We'll see. I'll give it a couple of years. If it doesn't start looking better by next year, I'll put something else there. Planted some lavender here, some Munstead. I got 1, 2, 3 here. And I got some blackberries down there in the barrel over there. Those are thornless. I'm super happy about those. And I will be planting them this fall out here, because that's where, in the main garden is where that will be at. We'll have, eventually it'll all be fruits over here on this side. And when we get our water shares, it'll go, all of our vegetables and stuff will be on that side of our property. All right, guys, this is it. This is what I am most excited about this year. So I'll take you through. Down at this end is the corn, and I have cherry tomatoes right next to it, and some squash. So that's where I planted the pumpkins, the big green, or not, they're not green, they're kind of a grayish color, and the delicata, and some more of those patty pans, which I think I might have gotten a little overzealous with those. I planted tons of them. I planted white ones and the green tint ones, and hopefully I'll be able to eat them all and find other people who want to eat them as well. And then I've got our spicy peppers, and then over here we've got the artichokes, which are actually starting to form little tiny heads on there, and our zucchini down at the end, which we've actually been getting tons of zucchini already. April's made a lot of zucchini bread, right, April? And we've shared a lot, so you know, it's nice to have it. I mean, like, you get tired of eating it all the time, so I mean, we're not eating it a whole bunch. But so the cabbage is on the next row, and some of it's bolting already. I didn't realize, you know, here a few weeks ago, this was all full of weeds. And so when we pulled all the weeds out, they were pretty, some of them were already bolting. I didn't see it because the weeds were so tall. But the cabbages there are so eaten up by earwigs that, I mean, I think we could still use them. We're just really gonna have to clean them really well. I think next year I'll try to do a little better and actually do some preventative measures on them, like putting neem oil or something more, the earwig bait, put that on there so that they're not eating my food. This is the strawberries, which, you know, the kids helped me weed here, and they pulled out some of them. Well, they pulled out quite a bit because this whole row here was full of strawberries, and oops, I guess Jared doesn't have to worry about the strawberries, you know, overtaking the beds this year. It'll take a couple years, I think, for them to fill in their area. Oh well. And there's broccoli down there. This is the flowers section, and it's doing really well. I haven't been able to pick all the weeds out of it because it's so hard to pick them. The weeds are, so when I'm trying to pick them, you have to be like, pick literally like one weed at a time, so you know you're not picking the flowers. And that's why I don't let the children help me with those weeds. They have to go help with the ones that you know, they can easily distinguish which one's a plant and which one's a weed. These are the pumpkins here, which they are doing absolutely, these are the little baby pumpkins, which are really cute. They're doing really good. I don't see any pumpkins on here yet, but there's flowers, so I know they're going to be doing something soon. And it's crazy to see how big these things are, and there isn't anything growing on them yet. These are patty pans here, and I think, yep, they're starting to, here's one right here that has a fruit starting. And spaghetti squash. There's a few that came out on it. Not as many as April would have liked. And those are the, well, this is radishes here, and there's radishes over at the end of these patty pans here. So we've got quite a few radishes coming in. And at the end there is the cantaloupe, which I did see on them like last week. I haven't really looked at them this week, so they could be actually even bigger, little fuzzy melons on there. They're so cute. Some watermelons here. Got different tomatoes, which this year, you know, last year I was doing the French trellis, which they did work really good until the tomatoes got this tall. And then they started falling and drooping and the strings broke. And I thought, you know, I don't have time to spend all my time in the garden working with the tomatoes. I think I counted this year, I have 234 tomato plants. I don't have time to tend to every single one of these every single day. So this one I put up, and I've only done the first little clipping to get them started, and they just kind of do their own thing. They're just growing right up here on their own. Anyways, these are cucumbers. I thought I planted more down at that end, but I guess I did not. So that entire bed down at the end is empty, which is fine, because here pretty soon I'm going to go ahead and start another crop of beets, because they are so delicious. Anyways, so here's some more patty pan. Like I said, I think I really went overboard with the patty pan. And behind that is some more watermelon. And here's the row of beets with some wonderful little volunteers of marigolds. Those things can just spread themselves all over my garden, and I would be happy with it. Our potatoes, I do believe we had, what, 3 different ones? We had the huckleberry, we had the all blue, maybe we had 4. All blue, Yukon, and Pontiac. So we had 4. I was thinking it was 4, but I was like, I'm wrong. Anyways, our onions, they look great. Even the ones that we started from seed, they're looking pretty good. There are some weeds down there that we missed, so you probably can't see them right now. They're all the way down there. And the leeks are looking great. And the beans, they're looking really good too. I came out here, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. It was the day before yesterday. And it was really quiet. None of the kids were out here. It was just me. And I literally could hear these things popping. Kind of like you do when you're out in with the corn when it's hot. They start popping. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. I mean, like, it doesn't surprise me any, because, you know, it was just a couple weeks ago, I put these up here and they were down here, and now look, they're all the way up here. So I think definitely having something for them to grow on makes a difference, because if you could see, I haven't got the fence on these yet, and they don't look anything like these ones. They really need something to trellis on, or they just don't grow as good. I have basil down there, and it's looking great. We've been actually eating it already, some of it. And my Roma tomatoes, which I haven't pruned on these ones yet, but I have those ones. Just try to get the bottom leaves so they're not all touching the ground. And this was the last row of tomatoes that I put a cage on, and they're doing really well. They've started, I mean, I got fruit already, so that'll be great. Airplane. flying over. And our sweet peppers on this row. And another row of tomatoes, Swiss chard, and the Dakota black popcorn. And it's doing pretty good too. And if you come around here, you can see my flower bed. And these sunflowers are just going wild here. This one's kind of white out. It's not time to take a nap. Might have to stake it. This one wants to lay down. Some of these flowers are blooming already, like these. Bachelor buttons are doing really good. The cosmos aren't blooming yet, but I think they will soon. Let's see. I don't see any flower heads yet, but it'll look spectacular once they do, because there's quite a bit of them in here. I think they just don't have flowers. These ones have flower heads on them. I planted a bunch of Elysium. I thought that would look nice here. Oh, it looks like it's got little things in leaves. More Bachelor buttons. I don't know what these ones are called, but they sure are pretty. And they seem so, like, delicate. If you know what they are, put a message down in the comments below. I'm sure I could figure it out with a little searching. My husband has an app on his phone. I'll just have him look it up if he has a free moment. But that's pretty much it, guys. We are eating a few of the things. I think some of the green beans are coming in. We've been eating the beets, and obviously zucchini, lots of zucchini. And what else have we been eating? We had some of the cabbage, the Napa cabbage. I think that's about it, but I'm really looking forward to the tomatoes. And I would like to do some other videos of, you know, how I prepare some of my foods. And I'll bring you in the kitchen with me so you can see, you know, how I'm going to make these yummy foods here with what we're growing. That's it for now. I'll see you in the next one, and hit that subscribe button if you like what you see, and, you know, comment and share.